Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another engaging session of D-Talk 2.0. Today, we delve into the fascinating and thought provoking topic eco disasters caused by good intentions. Our speaker, Anuraj, will guide us through how well meaning initiatives have sometimes led to unintended environmental consequences. He will discuss real world examples across different sectors, showing how crucial it is to carefully consider ecological impacts even when pursuing positive goals. Without further ado, let's welcome Anuraj to the stage to take us through this insightful and relevant discussion.
Good evening, everyone. So, the topic I am gonna present today is ecological disaster, which are caused by good intentions. So, these are the disasters which is occurred uh, mainly because of the activities that we have done. Like for a good intention, we are doing these disasters, but uh, its impact resulted as a disaster, which is an ecological disaster. So, I want to take you on a journey, one where well meaning humans try to help nature and accidentally broke it instead. Because sometimes trying to play Mother Nature's assistance ends up turning you into her worst enemy. So, uh, so I'm gonna explain this topic mainly on four stories which occurred in the world. So the first story is of the Cane Town catastrophe. As you can see in this slide, this is a cane town. In 1930s, Australia faced a sugarcane problem. Actually, the farmers face many problems related to this sugarcane plant. Uh, there were several beetles and pests attacking these plants, and due to this harvesting, become there was a loss in this harvesting of this sugarcane. So the beetles were eating the stalks, and to fix this problem, different scientists introduced a method like fishing it. So they imported a hero. The name of this hero is cane toad. As you can see, this is the cane toad. It's a very large toad which is imported from the South America. One or two of them were imported from the South America. Well, from coming to now, in the present day, well, forward to 19 after 90 years, Australia is now having over 2 billion of cane toads right now. So actually, these toads didn't eat the beetle. The beetles were adaptive to these cane toads, and they went over the top of these sugarcane stalks, and they lived on the higher surface. And these toads were not able to reach up to there. So the problem was not solved, and it caused a new ecological disasters to occur. Well, these toads are actually toxic. So the animals whom eats these toads were resulted in death. Like they when they try to eat it, due to its toxicity, which results in the death of this animal. So, likewise, the ecosystem suddenly collapsed due to such activities. So now in Australia, it covers all around the Australia. We can see this cane toads around there. It's still spreading day by day, which are not native to the Australia, which disrupt the ecosystem. So the moral of this story is, under good intention, the which results in an ecological disaster. And it's not just an Australian thing. This is a human thing. We intervene in ecosystem thinking they are helping without fully understanding the web chain and pulling on. So the next story is of the United States. The Kutsu, the veins that it ate the South. It actually happened in the United States in 1870s. Soil erosion was a big problem in the places of these southern parts of United States. And for as a solution, scientists and many people introduced a way which is actually native to Japan, which was said to be preventing this soil erosion. So they implemented this way, and the so massively growing. So there was no stoppage to this growing. It grows around the cars, the roads, and thus it creates a ecological disaster. So this way in the south, the southern parts of these United States were completely covered of these veins. It grown food per day in peak seasons. Now uh, a forest, however, a forest was there of these veins and which blocked the sunlight, so thus killing the native plants, animals, and like things like species out there. So, so it didn't actually stop the soil erosion also. So it's instead eroding the entire ecosystem. So does this stories have in common? So there was a desire to fix a specific problem, and by creating the new problems, that is an ecological disaster, because nature doesn't work like an app. You can't just patch it. There is the next one is a third story. The third story is of the Nile. As you can see, this is a Nile perch. It is a fish. This is a story which happened in Lake Victoria. Lake Victoria is one of the biggest lakes in this Africa continent. And it had a big problem in declining biodiversity. So to increase in it was in rich biodiversity, but there was a declining in fish stock. So scientists introduced this type of fishes, that is the Nile perch, onto this Lake Victoria to solve these problems. So instead of solving these problems, this fish actually killed the native fishes living out there. And here's the kicker: it destroyed local economics and traditional fishing culture. People who once had thriving fishing villages were left with nothing. So here are we trying to fix the things, and it ends up worsening the situations. So each time the disaster wasn't from malice, it was from misplaced confidence, a belief that if we mean well, things will turn out well. But nature isn't a machine with replaceable parts. It's a complex living network. So let me ask you something. Have you ever tried to fix something and made it worse? Like in our households and all in this kitchen, if there was a leakage in this pipe system, so first of all we try to fix it by applying pressure. So sometimes by applying pressure, the situation gets worse. Like the hole which from the water is splashing out becomes bigger. So by doing something, we are making the situation worse. This ecological disasters happen actually by doing so. Now there is now let's go to the fourth story, which happened in the China. Actually, uh, in the history, this story plays an important role in the history. Some of you might be knowing about these stories. It happened in the 1960s. Main ecological disaster occurred here was a great famine, large like Great Chinese Famine, which was from 1959 to 1961. In 1960s, there were a problem in the China. Farmers faced several problems like the grain, there was no proper harvesting, less harvesting was there in these grains. So uh, China was under the leadership of Mao Zedong at that time. So he tried to introduce a new plan, that is a campaign, sparrow extermination campaign. So the main objective of this campaign is to eradicate the sparrows and by killing or by fluing them away. So so different peoples he paid rewards for peoples to eradicate the sparrows. So these sparrows mainly were believed to eat the grains, thus resulting in the loss of harvesting. So by eradicating the sparrows, the situation got worse. Like there was a sudden increasing in the growth of pests like locust population were increased, thus resulting in this loss of harvesting system. It is negatively implied in this process, which resulted in the Great Chinese Famine, through which millions of lives lost in the China. So, so let's come to the situation what we face right now. In this, in this right now situation, we actually discuss geoengineering, like reflecting sunlight with space mirrors, dumping iron into the oceans to boost the planktons, other methods like cloud seeding. This methods actually sounds futuring, maybe too much like a science fiction. So, well, here's the worry. What if these ideas meant to save the planet create a new kind of disaster, ecological disaster? We could change the rainfall patterns, starve fishes, trigger other factors, unintended consequences in a global scale. So history teaches us, well, we act too quickly, we act he teaches us we act too quickly or without listening to the ecosystem, we often get it wrong. But here is the good news, we are learning day by day. So today there is a shift in this conservation, restoring natural habitat instead of redesigning them, involving indigenous knowledge system, listening more, acting smarter, like rather than being more stupidly acting smarter. Nature itself fixes the things. We don't need to interfere in this ecosystem by fixing these things. Nature has its own method for fixing these kinds of disasters. So then in next time someone, if someone says like that we should just bring new species to the ecosystem for fixing something, let's feed this nature this weekend. So remember that good intentions aren't enough. Wisdom, humility, and deep respect for this complexity of ecosystem, that is what we needed. Because sometimes the best way to save the world is by stepping back and letting the nature show us how to heal. Thank you.
Thank you, Anuraj. We welcome your inquiries on environmental initiatives, unintended consequences, or how to design sustainable solutions that truly benefit our planet. If anyone has any questions, please feel free to ask now.
Yes, Rahul.
Yeah, am I audible?
Yes, you are.
So my question is, how does this echo disaster is differ from rest of the disasters?
Like this ecological disaster mainly impact on the ecosystem, yeah, ecology. uh, Rather than the other disaster doesn't it doesn't mean that it occurs in the ecosystem and environment. All disaster are ecological disaster. Like an ecological disaster is a subpart of an disaster. Yes, sir.
Oh, okay, thanks.
Yes, Bhagya, you can ask.
Can you give an example of such disaster in India?
Yeah, such disasters occurred in India too. Like in the case of water hyacinth, we actually introduced this. It's a fastly growing vein. We actually introduced these veins in the river system and pond system, river and lake system for nourishing the lake, but it is an since it is an actually spreading weight, it covers all around the lake system, thus uh, resulting in less entry of oxygen in the lake and resulting in death of this native species residing in this lake system.
Thank you, Anuraj, for that enlightening presentation on eco disasters caused by good intentions. Your discussion has underscored the importance of foresight, careful planning, and environmental awareness when implementing projects aimed at positive change. With DTalk 2.0, we continue to explore critical topics that shape our understanding of modern challenges. Wishing everyone a great evening and see you all in the next session. Thank you.